What's good, everybody? My name is the Generation 71. Thank you for tuning back into, honestly, it's a rant video. I'm actually throwing my personal 2 cents into this whole debacle, and if you don't already know, it's pretty much going to be about Nintendo. So, while we do that, though, I decided to put some Rayman, I want to say Legends. Yeah, it was Legends. Rayman Legends in the background, so you guys can kind of enjoy a good platformer without me being copyrighted for it. And then that's not a bash towards Little Big Planet. I probably would have done Little Big Planet as well, but I don't have a PlayStation anymore. So, but yeah, it's pretty much going to be including this, I mean, just whole rant with Nintendo. There's so many things that, you know, we could talk about, but I mean, I'm only gonna pick on 3 particular things, and I'm going to be as biased as possible. Also, just want to let everybody know, and in case they think I'm going the other way around, is I am a Nintendo kid. I used to, I grew up on Nintendo, plain and simple. I had all of their Nintendo consoles and handhelds up until like the GameCube afterwards, and it was kind of tough just seeing all the stuff they have been doing because, as a personal opinion, I feel like I can't support Nintendo anymore. But with that being said, let's go ahead and just get into the rest of the video. The first thing I wanted to go ahead and talk about is just, it's a little ridiculous how they're handling some of their hardware issues. A lot of people may not remember, but there was a GameCube adapter that was released with Smash Brothers. Of course, if you didn't pre-order it or if you didn't get it with the game, you have yet to see it, and they're supposed to be releasing a second wave here in May. Smash Brothers came out last year, so it's been almost 5+ months since we've actually had a GameCube adapter sellable at local retailer stores. So it's a little ridiculous. And when it comes to accessories, Nintendo's ridiculous for doing all that. There's no reason why they should make an accessory rare. I mean, it's an accessory. If it's a collectibles, and we'll get that, we'll get into that in a minute. I can understand that, but this is an accessory. There should be no reason that there is a shortage on an accessory. Now, again, because I'm going to be biased, or unbiased, I should say, I have to show it on the other side of it. I don't understand why so many people needed the adapter just to play Smash Brothers. I've talked to so many people saying, hey, I refuse to play Smash Brothers unless I can use my GameCube controller. Well, I mean, if that's the case, why don't you just go back on the GameCube or the Wii? I mean, there's good controllers for the Wii U. I mean, the particular one I think it was better for Smash Brothers was the Pro Controller. I think the Pro Controller was amazing. But yeah, there was just so many people saying, yeah, I refuse to play Smash Brothers unless I have the GameCube adapter for the GameCube controller. And so at that point, it was a little ridiculous on the consumer side, saying this is kind of what judged you, or you made the judgment on whether or not you got this game or not. Not if it was good or anything like that, but just what controller you played on. But I guess that's kind of also part of the console wars to begin with, on what controller do you prefer, what controller you don't prefer. But that kind of leads me into my next point overall, is collectibles, which is the amiibos. Now, with the amiibos, I can kind of understand, and I lean more to the point of, hey, you know, it's a collectible, it's rare, it's to be expected, you're not going to be able to find some. And that I'm okay with them being a shortage of those particular things because it is classified as a collectible. Yes, I mean, there's certain games that you can use certain amiibos on that gives you the full experience, so it's almost as if it's Nintendo's version of DLC, besides their actual DLC. But it's something where it's still classified as a collectible, so it makes sense that you're not going to be able to find it. And if this were the same everywhere else, that'd be perfectly fine, but it's not. I mean, in Europe, they're fully stocked up on everything you could possibly imagine. Yet just here in the US, Nintendo hates us apparently for whatever reason. I have no idea why. It's probably just because of Miyamoto, to be completely honest with you. But at least, like, with that, I can kind of understand to the point of, hey, you know, it's a collectible. I mean, it's not the first time they've done something like this, and won't be the last time they've done something like this. But when it comes to the point that it's only the US that it's rare, and everywhere else you could find it perfectly fine, that's a little ridiculous. But then I guess we've also been on the other side for so many years. I mean, I know with the whole recent 3DS not having a charger, that's been the case everywhere else for multiple DS releases, and it was just the first time that the US has gone to experience having their console not come with a charger. Now, since it's a game handheld, I mean, you should have a charger, plain and simple. I mean, you don't see that coming with the PSP, the PS Vita. Oh, it's like, oh, hey, you have a handheld. Sorry, we're not going to give you the charger, though. That's extra money. That's a little ridiculous, but I mean, again, personal opinion. But now we're going to get into the stuff that kind of pertains to personally me and, you know, why you guys are watching, probably. It's the whole YouTube debacle. Now, with this, you have to understand, I grew up in an age where it wasn't okay to say, hey, I want to make YouTube as a career. I want to make money off of YouTube. If you said that, you were personally, you were made an example of and you were punished for it, plain and simple. But now it's so mainstream to the point it's like, yeah, you know, I'm doing YouTube. I'm doing it for money. I want this to be my career. That is so okay to say now that it's just, you know, that is the main stream of the ideas, you know, pretty much. That's your main thought as of right now. So keep that in mind. I come from a more old school version of YouTube. With that being said, it's a little ridiculous to the point that if you have a 5-minute video with only like a minute worth of gameplay of Nintendo, they suddenly own that video. There's no reason why that should happen. There should be a better differentiating system of saying, hey, okay, this is how much of Nintendo you put into your video, so this is how much we're going to take out of it. Not just automatically, okay, hey, yeah, we own your video now, we're taking 40%, not counting the YouTube cut. It's like, okay, well, that's great. But I guess something is better than nothing. I know that a lot of people have also made that example of, or made that argument, so. But I also don't necessarily agree to the point of, especially like bigger YouTubers. If you are just playing to play, you don't actually put any sort of content, extra content, you just show gameplay like what I'm doing right now. I don't think it should be that big of a deal for you not getting paid to do it. I mean, what did you do? Yeah, you were entertaining. I understand that. You were entertaining. All you really did was just posted a video, synced it up with the audio, boom, you're done. I mean, if you don't get paid for that, is that really such a big deal? I mean, I'm pretty sure, if anything, you're just getting more fans to come to your channel because you're doing Nintendo. And, I mean, you go from there. That's my personal opinion on it. I mean, if you don't get paid for it, big deal. But again, if you're putting like 40+ hours into editing your videos, damn right you should probably get paid for it, especially if you only use like, you know, 30 seconds to a minute worth of content of actual Nintendo gameplay. With that being said, I mean, honestly, who does it really hurt? I mean, at this point, I honestly think it honestly hurts more Nintendo as a company more than anything. But even at that point, I don't think that it's really hurting Nintendo all that much because they're getting exactly what they wanted. They now, for a lot of people who are ranting, you know, including me, are talking about Nintendo. They don't sacrifice any of their gameplay, and yet they're still in the main news. Isn't that what overall gameplay is supposed to be? Just the fact that, hey, you know, you can go ahead and talk about Nintendo as long as you don't show our gameplay, and then they still get the benefit of the publicity and all that. So I think a lot of people don't realize that ironic twist to it for all of this, but I guess in the end, I guess all I gotta say is if you really want to make a change, just stop supporting them, plain and simple. If you feel like Nintendo can do no wrong, well, I mean, go ahead. I mean, in the end, you're being hurt for anything like that. It kind of reminds me of a situation where I was actually at a store and they tried to get me into the rewards program, and the guy was a jerk about it, don't get me wrong. But he literally said, is like, well, okay, if you don't want your the rewards card, it'll be fine. We'd be more than happy to take more money from you. And so it's kind of funny, but it's true at that point. It's like, yeah, I mean, if you don't want it to change, that's fine. They're just going to make more money off of you by still doing the same thing that they're doing. So in the end, it's not really hurting anybody much besides the people who are protecting Nintendo in the end. So, but anyways, guys, I'm going to cut it there for now. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave a like down below. Share this with people because I think more people need to realize that, again, if we're talking about Nintendo, but then again, if you're sharing it, then you're spreading the Nintendo thing. You know, whatever. I'm just going to cut it there for now. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. My name has been The Generation 71. We'll catch you guys later.